What's going on, people? It's Blackguy 410. I'll be a captain for this evening, morning, night, whatever time it happens to be when you're listening into this. For me, it is 9:12 in the morning. I've never recorded a review this early, but whatever. It's going to be a good day. Got the World Cup going on later. Actually, that's probably why I'm recording this now, because I'm watching the World Cup later, so wanted to knock this review out the way. And today I wanted to talk about the Netflix anime Knights of Sidonia. For anyone who didn't know, this is a Netflix original anime. I believe it's the first one that they've ever did. I heard about this a while ago, and to be honest, when I had first seen the trailer, I actually wasn't like that impressed with it. I wasn't even sure if I was going to check it out, but I figured, Netflix original anime, might as well, I'll give it a shot, at least watch a few episodes, maybe 2 episodes, and then if I don't like it, then whatever. But, I actually watched this all in one day. It was 12 episodes, I think, and I definitely ended up enjoying it a lot more than I originally thought I would. The story, I guess just to get into that, Sidonia is basically this massive ship that houses the rest of Earth's population. Earth ends up getting destroyed by these beings called Ghana, which are like the main enemies of the show. And they're basically like these shape-shifting like alien things, so they basically destroy Earth. Sidonia is the ship that kind of fled from Earth and basically sustains its own, population and culture. It's like a mini Earth almost, you could say, within the ship that is Sidonia. One of the cool things about it is that this kind of takes place in the future, and Sidonia is pretty advanced in that humans, or majority of them, they actually photosynthesize now, so they don't have to eat as much as a regular person would. I believe one of the characters was saying she photosynthesizes, she only has to eat once a week or something like that. But let me roll on to that just to get into the characters. The main character is Nagate Tanakaze. He was actually what they call, I think they call him an underdweller. So he actually didn't live, he lives in Sidonia, but he lived underground in Sidonia. And he actually is one of the people who doesn't photosynthesize. So like a regular person, he still has to eat every day. He gets hungrier a lot faster than a normal person, or than these normal people do on Sidonia. And that's actually how he's discovered above ground. I think he was trying to steal some rice or something like that, and then he ended up getting knocked out while he was trying to run away. And then he ends up he gets discovered above ground, and then he becomes a fighter pilot, pretty much. And that's kind of just the basics of his story. It gets a little more complex, but for the sake of this review, I'll just keep it at the basics. Basically, the pilots go out, they try and fight off the Ghana. The Ghana are, pretty much trying to destroy them, pretty much. And that's like a bleak basis of the show. But I guess I'll get into the pros and why I liked it. I don't think the show did anything groundbreaking or innovative to speak, but with what it did do, it executed really well. It wasn't great to me on any one point, but it was solid across the board on everything. You had good characters. Aside from Tanakaze, you have Izana, who was kind of his best friend, who's also I'm not sure. I'm on Wikipedia. They label her as a hermaphrodite. I guess that would be the closest thing, because even in the show she says she's not a boy or a girl. So she's or it, whatever you want to call it. She's his best friend. They introduced some other fighter pilots. You have Hojishiro, who is kind of was his main love interest, who also ends up becoming a fighter pilot along with Tanakaze. And there's some other people I won't get into. A lot of side characters, like just a lot of other like pilots in general, that you'll run across in the show. And yeah, I think this show, well, I guess I'll say, yeah, like I said earlier, it didn't do one thing great, but it did everything solid across the board. As far as like fight scenes, when they actually start going against the Ghana fighting in space, the fight scenes are pretty good. And I'm not even someone who's really like into like mecha animes like that, or I don't watch a lot of sci-fi either, which is pretty much what this show would kind of be classified as. And did a good job. The space scenes were really good. The fights against the Ghana, I like how the Ghana kind of like evolve. Like every time they fight them, they find out new stuff about them. The Ghana is somewhat, like trying to adapt to fighting them, and every time they fight them, it's some kind of new challenge, something new that they have to do to figure out how to beat them. Yes, and like I said, the fight scenes are pretty good. The characters, the characters aren't great, and that's one of the cons I have about the show. I think the characters are solid, but if there was one thing about the show I think that could use a little work, would be like character development, which I know this anime, as I read into, is getting a season 2. So hopefully in season 2 they dive into a little more like character development, more background stories. It's kind of like just people just kind of pop up, and you don't really know like a whole lot about them. They're just kind of there. So hopefully maybe in like a season 2 they'll work on that a little bit to see like more of where these people come from, because Sidonia is an interesting place. It'd be cool to see like their backgrounds of how they were just raised on this pretty much huge ship that's like a mini Earth and everything like that. Another thing that I liked and disliked at the same time on this show was the animation, and there was something to me that was like a little off about it. It wasn't, excuse me, I'm not sure what to, like it visually like looked good, but like the movements to me were slow, I guess. I don't even know if that's the right word. Slow, like kind of choppy a little bit. I don't know. There's something. I promise if you're watching, you know what I'm talking about. There's something like just slightly off about the animation, and it's offsetting it. It's, I don't know. It made it a little hard to watch when I first, like for the first few episodes. It made it a little hard to watch. But after a while, I guess I kind of got used to it. But that would be another like con I had about this anime. Even though, like I said, visually it looked good. At least to me, it looked good. But when it got to the movements, it got a little, I don't know, it gets a little iffy. And even in the fight scenes, to me, sometimes it feels like that. But to me, it's more noticeable when they're outside of their suits and they're just kind of walking around. There's something about the animation seems like a little off. But other than that, man, other than those two, or those two cons, I should say, for the most part, I didn't have much else to complain about this. Like I said, nothing groundbreaking. You had a solid story, a solid foundation. Force story, man against alien trying to wipe everybody out. But they had, lots of action. There was a lot of things going on. I thought it was cool and realistic to where how mini spoiler alert. There's a scene where, I'm not even gonna say there's a scene. Anytime that the ship has to move faster, make a turn, or do anything, they have these little gravity belts that they wear, and pretty much you'll hear like an announcement like, ship's about to speed up, get your gravity belt, hang on to a rail, because if you don't, and it would be like that in real life. If you're on a ship and it's about to go, a lot faster than normal, if you're not hanging on to something, you're probably going to fall over. And this show, it was a lot more than people just falling over. You had people who literally died because they didn't get to a rail in time. So, like, there was one scene where I think they were about to speed up, and the people who did make it on the rail, you had people flying out of windows, getting smashed against buildings, and it, you know, I enjoyed that like realism about the show. And the show is definitely not shy about killing off people. Kind of reminded me of like Attack on Titan a little bit, with like in a lot of these fights, you definitely get people who get killed off. I won't name any names, but you know, there are some people who definitely kick the bucket when they end up fighting the Ghana. And the Ghana are some pretty good foes. Like I said, you'll see the evolution of them and how they seem to get better every time they fight, and they always seem to like present new challenges when they go against the humans. Other than that, I don't think I got really much else to say. Like I said, I watched this all in one day, 12 episodes. Didn't think I was gonna like it much at first, but after the first 2 episodes, I was like, yeah, I definitely like this. I thought it was paced pretty well. At some points it slows down, but then it usually ends up picking right back up. Towards the end, I think you start to see a little more character development. I won't give away the story, but you start to see certain people's like backgrounds and secret like histories and things like that, and that gives me hope for season 2 that they'll do more like character development and things like that, because I think that's just one of the main things that kind of holds the show back, is character development. But everything else, you know, solid story, good action, visually looks pretty good, but character development to me needs a little work on. But everything else was pretty solid. Oh, and one more like random thing. Maybe someone, I don't know. I know the show has a manga, and I'm pretty sure there are people who probably know a lot more about the show than I do. But if anyone could explain to me why, and I can't remember her name, was it Lala or something like that? She's basically like the nurse of the ship or something like that, but she's like randomly a bear. And I don't get how, yeah, like she's just randomly a bear. And I'm not sure like what her story is, or maybe there was a part in the show I just missed that explained it. But if anybody knows why she's just randomly a bear, please let me know, because it kind of bugged me the whole time I was watching it. Like, she's a cool character, but I was just like, why is she a bear and everybody else is just kind of regular, and no one seems to be weirded out at all that, you know, out of all of the people on Sidonia, which is like I said, a mini Earth population, she's the one animal, like human hybrid somehow. But that's neither here nor there. Like I said, that was just one like minor thing that's like kind of bugged me the whole time I was watching it. But other than that, man, this was a dope show. I'll definitely be watching season 2. I think this show has a lot of potential. It has a good, solid foundation to start on, and to me, I think it can only get better. Like I said, with a little more character development, a little more work on the storyline, I don't see why this show couldn't end up being, you know, probably like one of my favorites of the year if it continues on the path that it is now. And yeah, that's about it. Nice Sidonia. Check it out if you got Netflix. Only 12 episodes. You could definitely, if you got time, you could, like I said, I breezed through this in one day. If you got time, you could breeze through this all in one day. And I think you probably like it, or if not, maybe you won't. Animation might put you off like it did me, but I just kind of sat through it, fought through it, and eventually, I don't know, kind of got used to it. But other than that, my Sidonia, check it out. Until next time, we'll catch y'all later. Be easy.